Hey guys and gals, welcome back to the channel. So today is going to be another watch review. It's actually the watch I'm wearing on my wrist, or is it the watch I'm wearing on this wrist? I'm wearing two watches. They're both the Valachio Avantiam, and why am I wearing two versions of the same watch? That's a great question. So let's start off with a little story time. So we go back about a month ago. I received an email from a fellow YouTuber by the name of Jack, has a successful gaming channel on YouTube, and he did something that truthfully I've thought about, and actually if you watch like my older Shinola videos and stuff, I even mentioned it, I'm pretty sure, which is he started his own watch company, something that again I've thought about doing but never really had the courage to do. And Jack is a 19-year-old kid from Toronto. Again, he's a university student, so I mean super cool that he did that. You know, I get people all the time asking me to review products on my channel, and I'll be honest, a lot of the stuff that people ask me to review I really have zero interest in, and it's because they're products that they want me to review that I don't believe in. And granted, you know, Jack reaching out and wanting me to review one of his watches, I wasn't really sure if it was something that I would be interested in looking at. So I wrote back and said, hey look, I'd love to do a review. I think what you're doing is super cool and I want to support somebody who's starting their own company. I think that that's tremendous. Just want to make sure I can do an open, honest, and truthful review with it. Since again, I have no experience with your watch, and truthfully my expectations are pretty low. Speaking of the watch, let me put those specifications right here so you guys can learn all about it while I go on my little rant here. Long story short, he said, yeah, if you want to do a fair and honest review, that's exactly what I want from you. Feel free to speak your mind about it. So I'm like, you know what? He's doing something I think is cool, and he's letting me get my honest opinion on it. Please send me something along. I'd love to help you out. I think you're doing a really cool thing. So what happened originally was he sent me this watch. This is the Avantiam with the gold-plated case with a brown suede strap. And 3 weeks later, the watch still hadn't shown up, which is no fault of Jack's, but there were some postal mishaps. Long story short, the watch was presumed lost. So you may have seen these watches on YouTube recently because Jack reached out to a couple YouTube creators. Another one who happens to be a friend of mine named Kurt, who was reviewing this watch, which is another Valachio Avantiam in a different color coordination. Kurt, by the way, is a super cool guy, really down to earth, really funny, has some awesome voices and sound effects. I'm gonna put a link to his review on the watch below, because if you guys aren't watching him at Minitwatch, you should. He's one of my favorite watch channels, totally honest with you, and you should go check him out. So go follow Kurt. But if you've watched his channels, you may already recognize this watch. So, this watch went from Toronto to Kurt in Hawaii, and now it found its way to me because, again, we presume this one was lost. I shot a whole review on just this watch, and actually I was getting ready to upload it, and it was already supposed to go live, and then lo and behold, this watch showed up in the mail, so I'm kind of recreating the review here. So I'm in a position now where I get to do something kind of cool. I have both watches here that I can review at the same time. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys my just unbiased take on them. And I gotta say, I'll just start off with this. I really had zero expectations, and if anything, I was expecting to be disappointed, and I was a little worried that I might say something mean, and because I really want Jack to do well because I think he's doing something super cool. But honestly, the watches have kind of grown on me, and I really like them. So these watches aren't mine. Jack let me borrow them for the review, so I don't own one personally, but it's definitely something I would consider. I think they're really cool, and I'm just going to give you an honest review on them. So let's go ahead and jump to the review. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get started. So here we have both versions of the watch obviously in front of you. Design wise, they're identical. You're just looking at some aesthetic feature differences. They're both 316L steel. However, you have again just the plain stainless steel version, and then you also have this gold plated version. Also, obviously clearly one's a white dial versus a black dial. These also have two different colored straps obviously. Suede straps, by the way, something that are really cool. I've never experienced it on a watch before. For those of you guys, by the way, I'll get to the strap in a bit, but if you're looking for other options, they also have a strap that is traditional leather with like a crocodile effect on it. But as these watches are identical in features, I'll just focus on one for the sake of the review. Before I take away, I'm going to do my review on the black dial one, but before we take away the gold tone here, I just wanted you guys to know that it's got some beautiful non-applied markers in red, and the second hand as well is red, and I do think that honestly the color coordination on these watches is really cool. I really like the red hands against the white dial with the gold tone case and this color strap. Aesthetically, this thing I think is just very well done. The only thing I would say that I don't like about the gold tone is I just have a bias against gold plated cases, but color wise I think this is a very sexy looking watch. But we'll go ahead and focus on the stainless steel one for this review. So first things first, the dial, I think we should start there. Again, color coordination on this is super cool. I love the blue second hand. I love the non-applied markers, and I love the blue accents on the dial as well. I think it works really well with the stainless steel case, and I really like this suede strap as well. I think aesthetically, I think all the color choices on this watch are spot on. It really speaks to me. Dial-wise, Jack is a fan of Nomos watches, and I think that's pretty clear. You know, if you're familiar with the Tangente or the Metro, I know are two of Jack's favorite watches, you can definitely see the inspiration in the minimalist style with the non-applied indices. Very, very pretty. You know, just the little hour markers at 12, 2, 4, 8, and 10. There's also an outer chapter ring as well, and you're going to see indices at 15, 25, 35, 45, and 55. It's a very, very nice effect. The sapphire crystal, by the way, is a standard option as well. So this is sapphire. You're also going to get sapphire on the case back right here. The other big aesthetical thing you'll notice on the dial itself is this open heart. The open heart is revealing the 90S5 movement from Miyota. If those of you aren't familiar with that movement, it's a phenomenal movement. Evidently, immediately too, is that it's a higher beat movement. As you can see here, it's beating at about 28,800 beats per hour. So you're getting a nice smooth sweep to the second hand, and it's also a hackable movement. So if I pull out the crown, you'll see that the watch stops, making it very easy to set the watch. We'll set it to the famous hand setting for photographing watches there, so you can see all the name there. But speaking of the crown, you get a signed crown here as well. V for Valachio, and actually you're going to get the same thing on the gold tone version as well. Nice. I do have kind of fat fingers, so I'd be honest, it was a little hard for me to grip the crown. It is non-screw down, but you can wind it immediately, so that's kind of nice. Not a water resistant watch, super. It's 5 ATM. You know, this is not something you want to go you know, deep sea diving in, but as an everyday watch, this should be more than ample for you. But yeah, first position is winding, second position is hacking to set the date, or not to set the date, excuse me, to set the time. So kind of cool. I like the knurling on the crown too. It makes it easy to grip if you have normal sized fingers. This watch is super, super light. It weighs about 46 grams, I believe. Only 10.5 millimeters in height. It's about 37.8 millimeters across. So it's going to be a great size as a dress watch. It's going to be a great size as like an everyday wear watch. And I believe it's about it's 20 millimeter lug width here, and I believe it's about 43-ish, 42-ish lug to lug. Really nice wearable size, and again, it's an extremely light watch. It's actually, you know, kind of surprising, because when I first put this thing on, I've been wearing my Breitling Navitimer, which is the opposite of a light watch. So it was actually kind of refreshing to put on such a light watch. You'll also notice, again, these really pretty, very thin lugs, very similar design as what you would see on like a Nomos, also like Shinola and a couple others. It's a very kind of vintage appeal, these thin lugs, and again, they really kind of add to that minimalist aesthetic of the watch. I really like it. Aesthetic-wise, about the only thing I can say that I'm not sure if I'm a fan of is the open heart. Now, as watch enthusiast, you know, especially lovers of automatic or mechanical watches, you know, seeing the movement is a very emotional thing for us. You know, it's very kind of cool to see that. However, the dial is so minimalist, I almost wonder if this makes it a little too complicated for me. Now, other people I've shown this watch to thought it looked perfect. So again, there's no accounting for taste. It's not a criticism of the watch at all. I think personally I'd probably like it if it wasn't there. Although somebody even mentioned to me too, they'd like to see like a moon face down here. So, you know, again, to each their own. But really, really cool, and open hearts are, you know, you're seeing the heartbeat of the watch. They're very special. This comes equipped on a leather strap, or excuse me, a suede strap. A leather strap is also available. Again, here's the brown version of the same suede strap. You know, very, very soft. And honestly, when I first felt this, I'm kind of clumsy. I was worried I was going to spill coffee on it or ruin it. Was kind of where my brain went immediately. But those fears have gone away. And I got to say, it's very soft. It's very comfortable. And were I to pick this watch up, I would definitely go the suede route. I think it's very unique, and I think it looks really cool with the watch itself. I think this whole watch has just kind of a very cool design, and I think it very much ties into the theming. I love the strap with the blue non-applied markers and the blue seconds hand. I think it's a very cool package. On the back here, you'll see it says Valachio handmade. Pretty cool. I understand the font here is going to change a little bit. Also, the strap is a little bit short. This is a pre-production, but Jack has mentioned to me that they're going to come out with a longer strap for people that have bigger wrist. They've all come on a butterfly deployant. Got some nice machining going on there. It's pretty nice. Thing about these things too is you can make them basically infinitely sizable, assuming you have a long enough strap. So all you really need to do, pop it open here, is they're super, super easy. You just slide this through the hole, pick a place, it snaps right in, and you've sized the watch. Couldn't be easier to size the watch. But I'm gonna go ahead and take it back off so I can show you guys the back here. So again, the case back is going to be sapphire. This is the Miyota, again, 90S5 movement. 24 joules, 28,800 beats per hour, 42-ish power reserve, hour power reserve. Accurate to -10 plus 30 seconds a day, somewhere around there. Truthfully, this is a terrific movement, and a lot of people feel that this movement is every bit the equivalency of an ETA movement in terms of quality and accuracy. It is held in, I don't know if I can show it to you here, by a piece of plastic inside the case. However, again, for a watch that's well under $500, that is definitely something that's not a big deal. And I think the movement actually has some nice finishing on it as well. I really like these movements. Also, you can see where it says double dome sapphire, and it mentions the name 5 atmosphere 316L stainless. The lettering here is raised, and it's got a nice little texture underneath it. I think it feels very, very nice. You'll also notice that the case back is screw down, which again, for the price point this watch has, is a really, really nice feature. I don't know if I've ever seen that on a watch under $1,000, to be honest with you guys, but you guys can let me know in the comments. That's news to me. Very cool. Has quick release lugs. So if you want to take the strap off, you just put your finger here or your nail and you push back, and the spring bar will release, and you can just drop the strap off, pop another one on there. I would do it right now, but trying to film this and do it at the same time probably would result in calamity. But again, this watch is really surprised me. I didn't have a lot of expectations on it. I got to say that having worn it for a while, I've gotten a lot of compliments on it, and a lot of people really appreciate the design. And again, I really like the color just that are available on these. I think the blue with the steel and this strap is just super sexy, and the gold tone with the white dial with the red hands and this color strap too. I really think the color on these things, the whole design is just very well done. I very much like the way these came together. Personally, if it was me, again, not being a fan of gold-plated cases, I would actually take this watch as is. I really like the way this watch looks, and this very much speaks to my aesthetic. And this is very much different than the watches I would usually wear. I tend to like heavy watches that are more complex looking. So this would be very refreshing to have something like this in my collection. And just to give you guys kind of a wrist shot, let me go ahead and throw this on here. Oopsie, gotta open this thing first. So couldn't be easier again to size these things. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. If you want to, if this watch speaks to you and you want to support Jack and get a hold of one of these for yourself, I'm going to put a link below to Jack's Kickstarter, and feel free to go check that out. And again, if this is something that speaks to you, go take a look at his Kickstarter and see if you can get yourself a hold of one of these things. Go ahead and put this on the wrist. Again, the issues of trying to film and do something at the same time. But oh yeah, there's a nice Valachio signed buckle there as well. As you can see too, very, very thin case. Again, only 10.5 mil. And there's the net result. And it's, of course, didn't slide the loop over like an idiot. Let me fix that. There we go. So yeah, very cool watch. I really appreciate the design of it. Again, if anything, I'd probably would like to see a plain face. But otherwise, I would take this watch as is. I really like the way it looks, and it's really grown on me. So, Jack, I think you've done a very nice job. I really appreciate your aesthetic, and I wish you well and hope you take the company where you'd like it to go. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. A couple things to kind of get out of the way quickly. You guys have been asking me for a State of the Collection video quite a bit, so I owe that to you guys, and I hope to get that out to you next week, and I'll give you a little State of the Collection vid. Also, as you probably have noticed, and again, I'm so sorry, I haven't been answering all the comments recently, and I've also been not responding to some of the emails and messages. It's gotten to the point where it's kind of unmanageable, so I apologize. I'm trying to answer as much as I can, but please forgive me. I do read everything. I just may not get the chance to respond to everything. So thank you guys so much for your continued support. I am so blessed. I am so appreciative. If you haven't already, please subscribe so we can catch each other on the next video. And as always, guys, your support is, again, I'm so appreciative of it. Have a good one.